Hey everyone, it's Mike with Pacific Yak Angler, and today we're going to swap out the rudder on our Wilderness Systems Recon 120 HD, and we're going to put it in for the new Pacific Yak Angler P3 Rudder. You can see the size is amazing for getting you through the water. This is a game changer for all kayaks. Super simple install, but you can definitely see we're a lot longer, as well as having this at the bottom. This allows you to turn amazing on the water. So I'm going to lay everything out, show you what you need for tools, and walk you through the install. Super simple. Okay, so this is what you get in your package. You've got your rudder sticker, which I applied right to it. I think it looks great there. You got a couple of washers. Those washers are actually going to be spacers right here. Since the aluminum is a lot thinner than this composite piece that's in here right now, we need those spacers in there, as well as there's a piece of foam, and that's going to get cut down and put into here so that when the rudder drops, you're going to eliminate that noise. As far as tools, you need a Phillips screwdriver for this to take your rudder off. You can see in there, that's the only real tool we need. I take the rudder right off, so we'll pull all of these off of the sides, the one off of the bottom, and that allows us to pop the rudder up and just do it here. The only other tool that I have with me that I will be using, I've just got a small little Phillips screwdriver, and what I'm going to use that for is, if this doesn't come out nice and easy, you can just push a Phillips screwdriver up into there, because this line, we're going to pull it back out to the end of the kayak, because we need to make this wrap for the lift line on this rudder as well. So by doing that, what we're going to do is we'll just attach a little piece of fish line to it. So as we pull it from this side, the fishing line will feed through, and then when we're ready, we just pull it back through using the fishing line. So I'm going to get the rudder off and we'll start this process. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to take the line. You could do it on either side. I prefer to use this one. It actually comes out nice and easy. So you just push that through, untie this knot because it needs to feed back through, and then at the end here, I'm going to tie the fishing line on. So there you can see I've just wrapped it around a lot, threw a half hitch on. I'll throw another half hitch onto it as well, because all that's doing is just going to be pulling that line through. So now we'll go to the back of the kayak and we'll do that. Okay, so you can see we've taken the rudder off, so now we'll pull this line back through. Now I've got this line. Now a lot of times, depending on your tubes, you may not need to run it through. You might be able to just push this through, but because there's not really any backbone to this, it's just going to make it so much easier to go through. So now by having those couple half hitches on, we can just undo these half hitches. And now we've got our rope. So now what we need to do is, you can see on here where it feeds through, we're going to take this apart. You just want to make sure that when you're putting it back together, that This side goes on the top, the other side goes on the bottom. So we're going to undo this screw. Pull your insert out. Pull your other insert out. And now you can see this whole piece will come loose. You don't want to pull too far. Take your rope guides off, set them off to the side. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to pull through this same side that we took. We're going to need to pull it through the bottom of this block. So now that we've got that out, what you're going to want to do is look at how this is set up on this rudder for the way that this rope is through, and mimic it through the holes right there. So for this, just my little screwdriver again, works great. You can get it in underneath that rope. Pull that through. When you flip it over, you're going to see, so the line is going to start coming in for the other side first. So if we set it up, we're going to bring the line across and through, and then it's going to come underneath to this one, down to this one, and then when we flip it over, back up through. So again, we come across, we come up, we go back down. So we bring our line across, up, down, making sure that we go over top of that, and then we're going to come up and through. So now that we have that set, now we're going to pull the line, and you'll be able to see where your old where it went through before just by the bends in it. So I've got to pull that all the way to there. So you can see that's right where that first bend was, so I know I'm good there. So now I'll feed the line the rest of the way through. We're there. I've already got it set on the back, so now I can just pull. So now I've got that set on there nice and tight. So once we've got that all tied up, We're going to take this end, give it a little tug to try and straighten it out a little bit. Makes it easier to feed it back through. Then we need to get it fed through there. I find for this is another great time to grab your little screwdriver just for feeding that line through. Pull it up. Now you want to make sure that your lines aren't crossed, that you've got them setting the right way at this point. So you can see we're bang on. Your first disc spacer comes up that way. So at this point, what I'll do is I'll take one of my pieces again. I'll set it in, and you can see it'll only fit in the one way. So I will get one piece set in there to start holding everything into place. So we've got that. Take a washer, slide the washer over, put the rudder on. So that's that side, and now we will do the same on the other side. So the easiest way to do this, lay it down. And remember, this one goes on the bottom. So we're going to slide our guide in. And then, the way I like to do this, I just find it works easier for me, is once I have the guide in, then I can slide that washer into place. Again, your little screwdriver just allows you to shift everything to where it needs to be. Take our other piece, put it in. Put our screw back into it. So now that we have it assembled again, we can go ahead, set this down. It'll come down, grab your line, and just make sure that it comes up. It's going to come up no problem. Make sure both your lines are set where you need them to be. Now we're going to take this end with this piece of fishing line again. Give it a bunch of wraps. Again, a couple half hitches. Work them up and down that line. And now, we just slowly pull our line. and our lines are back in. So now we'll go ahead and we'll put the rudder back together. We'll put that other end on and we'll show the final product. All right, so lastly, I'm going to take this, cut a piece down to fit into there, and then we will cycle the rudder. So there we can see the rudder's installed. One other little thing I'll show that I did for my kayaks on the Recons. I've taken a little piece of bungee and put it through the other hole here. What that's used for is when the seat's on, I'll show you on this side, I'll take this and I'll pull it up and put it up on those knobs. So that'll keep the rudder stowed. And then when we pull this one to put the rudder down, this comes up, locks on. That'll just kind of help keep that rudder in the down position. But you can see the world of difference that this makes. So this, again, Pacific Yak Angler P3 Rudder, absolute game changer for these boats on the water. The steering is unmatched now. It turns way better than they've ever turned before. And yeah, you can check out Pacific Yak Angler online and order yours now.